What shirt is the most enjoyable to eat? Here are the ground rules. A shirt is defined as a garment for the upper body. So let's play a game. Is this a shirt? When considering what type of shirt is best to consume, we have a few factors that we need to consider. The first, and by far the most important one, is the material and all of its associated traits, such as its toxicity and its chewiness. The materials that we'll be working with today are as follows. We have cotton, polyester, linen, rayon, wool, nylon, spandex, denim, and flannel. Another factor for us to consider is the color of the garment, because certain dyes are less than compatible with the human digestion system. Starting off our list in F tier is rayon. Rayon is the first clothing of choice for both frat boys and also for white people who are visiting tropical locations. Rayon has two big things running against it. Firstly, it's just toxic. Rayon is a fully synthetic fiber, and so its production requires both a large amount of toxic chemicals such as disulfides, and also the use of a lot of poisonous dyes. So the destruction of the shirt during the oral consumption process would likely release a lot of these carcinogenic chemicals into your body, which would greatly increase your odds of cancer. The next and far more important reason is that rayon's texture just isn't enjoyable. It has a very coarse feel in the mouth despite its smooth look and texture, and the strong synthetic fibers that makes it a great textile option are exceedingly difficult to break down into a swallowable pulp when consumed. Rayon is the only shirt type that qualifies for F tier, meaning it's now time to move up a level. Sitting squarely at the bottom of D tier, we have nylon. I personally wish that I could put this one higher on the list, but much like World War I, toxic chemicals had to come in and ruin all of the fun. The reason that I would have put nylon higher is because its texture is just flat out immaculate. You know that one thought experiment? The one with the monkeys and the typewriters trying to make Shakespeare or whatever? Nylon is a product of that, only if you replaced monkeys with impoverished children and typewriters with textile machines. You could give humanity another 1,000, nay, another 1,000,000 years, and we would not even come close to achieving the perfection that is in nylon. But sadly, much like life's other pleasures, if you consume too much of it, you'll probably die. So for that reason, it remains solidly at the bottom of D tier. Okay, what do we have next? Polyester lands a C tier spot. It would be higher, but much like nylon, it's simply just not safe to eat. But with that being said, it is a bit less harmful, so it does, unfortunately, rank higher than nylon despite its vastly inferior texture and taste. The last of the synthetic fibers is spandex. Fuck spandex. The only reason it's this high up is because it's not toxic. Spandex is made of polyurethane, which is not expressly dangerous to eat, so that's better than all the other fibers so far. That being said, it tastes and feels atrocious. Spandex is incredibly elastic, so when it's chewed, certain parts of it become tensioned. This on its own isn't a problem and even makes the chewing experience more fun. The issue comes when your teeth cut through the spandex. The tension material acts like a rubber band, so when you cut it, the energy is released and it slams the spandex into your gums. I didn't know this when I first tried it for this video, and it was really alarming. C tier next. Before I start this next one, yes, I know it's technically also cotton, but I just don't care because they taste so different. Have you ever eaten sand? Not like a couple of grains got in your sandwich while you're at the beach, but I mean like shovel that shit into your mouth en masse. That's what it feels like to eat denim. Denim shirts have a very pleasant earthy taste with a note of fruit and cedar, but this is overshadowed by their incredibly tough texture. If nylon is filet mignon, then denim is roadkill, served fresh. On top of this, it's also really ugly, and everyone I've ever met who wears denim shirts, even semi-regularly, smells horrendous. C tier. Linen is like denim's cooler, better uncle. It gets some of their family's signature roughness, but it's much easier on the mouth. On top of this, the flax plant that it's made from gives it a very delicate and refined flavor profile that many look for in a shirt. It could have been one of the greats, but its roughness is sadly holding it back. B tier. Flannel, also like denim, is typically made of cotton, but I'm going to be ignoring the shitty synthetic variants for the sake of this video. Fresh flannel is decent with a nice soft texture and a mild taste, but the real reason that it's so high up is because of the used market. Picture for a second the average flannel wearer. Go ahead, I'll wait. One of the best smells in the world is freshly cut wood, and due to flannel's popularity with lumberjack type individuals, or LTIs for short, they get infused with these flavors. If you don't mind getting a secondhand garment, you cannot go wrong with a good flannel. A tier. Bugs have historically refined palates, only eating the highest quality artisan goods. Most bugs don't consume shirts, however one bug does. The humble clothes moth, or
Tiniola biciliella.
Much like I enjoys consuming large amounts of wool shirts. That is because wool is straight gas. I don't feel the need to explain myself here, just look at this. This looks like it's nice This looks like it's nice to eat, right? Yeah, that's what I thought. A tier? Actually, no, S tier. Low S tier, but still. A nice, clean, fresh cotton shirt is the aristocrat's meal. Cotton is the jack of all trades, master of everything. It has a slightly gummy feel that gives it just the right amount of chewability. You don't want your shirts to be too lean or too chewy, and cotton hits that sweet spot right in the middle. Another perk of cotton is that it's literally everywhere. Cotton's real shining attribute, however, is its taste, and oh my god, its taste. Cotton is old. It's not the oldest, but it's old. It's had time to mature. It started off good, but not notably delicious. However, as time passed, it was selectively bred, and with each passing generation, its flavor would grow and refine and change. It eventually became so good that people would fight wars over the stuff. The governments would all lie and say that it's great to wear or that it's warm, but that's not true. They did it so that they could have it all to themselves. They wanted to stuff every nook and cranny of their filthy palaces with cotton. Its quality goes back centuries, and thanks to the wonders of mass production, even the modern day peasants can indulge in its intricacies. But this isn't enough. Sure, you and I, we can go to the store and buy as many shirts made of cotton as our heart desires. But what about those who can't? What about those who are impoverished or isolated? This they simply cannot do. I propose a solution. First, I'll contact my investors. Based on early surveys, I should be able to secure, let's say $200 million. We take that money and we invest. We don't invest in stocks or bonds or anything of those likes. We invest in firepower, enough weaponry, and support crew to take over a small country. And that's exactly what we're gonna do. I'm thinking the country of Benin due to its already high cotton production and focus on efficiency over human rights. From there, we'll grow. We'll invade our neighbors and then their neighbors and then theirs. By building cotton factories in our newly claimed territories, our treasuries will begin rapidly accumulating wealth, and so our military will grow accordingly. Soon we'll have Africa to ourselves, then likely the rest of the world will be at our throats. That's why we'll invest heavily in a secret nuclear development program. Not for the faux protection of mutually assured destruction, but for an offensive play. In an instant, the capital of every major world power is vaporized. At the same time, our cotton-fueled sentry ship is leaving low Earth orbit and heading to Mars. Once there, we establish a colony and we grow it. Earth is gone at this point. We need to focus on self-sustainability. We make sure not to repeat the mistakes of the inferior world. We research cotton-based renewable technology, then cotton-based fusion, and then cotton-based antimatter reactors. And then with this technology, we quickly colonize the solar system, terraforming and seeding cotton as we go. By this point, cotton has reached chemical perfection. With our solar system fully utilized, we turn our efforts towards FTL research. Using the cotton singularity method, we are able to reach for the stars, and we do. We meet the occasional alien civilization, and at first we try to be friendly. That doesn't last long. We continue like this for millennia, nothing standing in our path. Eventually, we run out of stars to colonize. Our utilization of the universe steadily ticks up. 98, 99, and then finally, 100.